We open on a wolf's head with Ned Stark's sword in its gob. Tywin hands it to a sweaty bloke who melts the fuck out of it to make 2 new swords. He puts another wolf on the Barbie. Jaime has a squiz at one of the new swords and he is allowed to keep it. Tywin then says he wants Jaime to be Lord of Casterly Rock. Jaime argues he wants to stay in Joffrey's Kingsguard even though he's only got 1 good mitt. Tyrion is told Prince Doran from Dorne is chucking a sickie, but Prince Oberyn has travelled and will attend Joffrey's wedding instead. This worries Tyrion. Enter Prince Oberyn, pinching some bums, is ready to get it on until he hears the Rains of Castamere, finds the fellas that are singing and displays invincible powers. Arrogant laughter, women flee. Oberyn doesn't like the song because it's a Lannister song, and he fucking hates the Lannisters. Slow as fuck, this bloke gets stabbed and will bleed to death if his mate doesn't get a medic. Tyrion appears, dickheads flee, victory snog. Tyrion asks for a word in private when all Oberyn is still trying to do is get his end wet. Oberyn tells a story in which Tywin Lannister's army killed his sister, niece and nephew. He believes Tywin gave Gregor Clegane, the mountain that rides, the order to kill them. He seeks vengeance. Daenerys pats yawning Drogon. Jorah longs to be daddy of dragons. 2 of them squabble over lunch, Drogon gets snarky and the parents have a chat about the behaviour of the growing kids. A perfect army, but Daario and Grey Worm are not present. They're at the casino. The winner gets to ride by Dany's side on the road to Meereen. She says, yeah, nah, fucking cut it out. Back in King's Landing, Sansa doesn't feel like having a feed. Tyrion asks for a private word with Sansa. Shae gets all cranky pants. They discuss Sansa's dead mum, dad and brother Robb. Tyrion is a top bloke and despite the war, he compliments them. She is still depressed as fuck. Shae is horny as fuck. Tyrion says be careful visiting because it's a dangerous time. She's still horny as fuck. They argue and Tyrion is lost for words. Shae is spotted leaving his place because it's a dangerous time. Jaime gets a cumbersome golden hand and then makes a move on Cersei. She says no and ultimately breaks off the icky incest romance with her brother. Ygritte talks about trying to kill Jon Snow. Harry Highhair says yeah, you didn't proper try because you fancy him. Some street thugs show up and say we're in Mance's army now too. The leader harps on about his fetish for fat people because they're fucking cannibals. At Castle Black, Jon discusses his time with the wildlings and reveals Mance's plan to attack the wall. It's decided he will not have his head chopped off for breaking rules like having a root. Bloody necklaces. Alanna and Marjorie discuss wedding outfits. Brienne talks to Marjorie about how Stannis killed Renly. Marjorie says, doesn't matter, Joffrey is king now. Cut from annoying Joffrey statue to real annoying Joffrey. Wedding security is discussed, and Joffrey talks like a big fucking man who won the war. Really, we're reminded how he does sweet fuck all. Meanwhile, Daario tries to give Dany some flowers. Upon rejection, he says, oi, nah, you gotta know the land you wanna rule, and tells her how she can use a flower to make tea. She listens, accepts. Cheeky alone time smile. Then dead slave children point toward Meereen. This makes Dany pretty angry. Brienne reminds Jaime how he made a promise to keep the Stark girls safe. She doesn't want Sansa in King's Landing and gets super fired up at him for trying to weasel out of his promise. Sansa is being stalked by some fool, Sir Dontos. He thanks her for saving his life when Joffrey wanted to kill him. He gives her a necklace as a prezi. Cut to 2 backpackers who discover a full moon party that went horribly wrong. The Hound says his plan to make some money is to sell Arya to her Aunt Lysa. They discover a place where they can get some tucker, but it's riddled with shit blokes. Arya recognises them. It's Polliver who killed her mate Lomi and who also has her sword. Full steam ahead. Arya and the Hound say fuck the king, struggle to get some chicken, and then kill all the shit blokes in a brutal fight, including Polliver, by gently threading his fucking Adam's apple with Needle the sword. End.
Working hard to make a living, bringing shelter from the rain. A father son left to carry on, blue denim in his veins. Oh, he's a working class man.
Aren't Arya and the Hound just sensational together? I look forward to their chicken-eating adventures. There sure was a lot of information to squeeze into this season premiere, but I thought that it was skillfully done. Not only did we have to get reminders of previous big events like Robb's death, the Blackwater battle and Joffrey's incompetence, Cersei and Jaime's time apart and the toll it's taken on them, but the show also needed to set up new events and new beginnings for this season, as represented by the melting of Eddard's fucking mint sword ice. The big highlight was the introduction of Oberyn Martell. This character is fucking rad, and I think the casting of Pedro Pascal is spot on. After a few scenes, I'm already looking forward to seeing more of him, and I do love a good vengeance plot. I think he has a very particular set of skills that will make him a nightmare for people like the Lannisters. Oberyn states that the Lannisters aren't the only ones that pay their debts, and I think this is a good theme for the episode and perhaps the season. The Starks will definitely want to pay some debts by killing a Lannister or two after Robin Catelyn's murder. Oberyn, of course, was quite blunt, and Arya has her plot of wanting to pay some debts to the fuckheads that have done her family and her mates wrong. So this season will definitely not just be about Lannisters paying debts. What do we think of the new bloke playing Daario? He's a fucking smooth operator, isn't he? I'm keeping me guard up, but it may not be bad to have a bloody romance plot for Dany instead of just seeing her trudge around all day. Shay is getting a bit too cranky pants for my liking. Honestly, is she trying to get herself killed by fucking Tyrion's family? They just gotta keep the libidos under control and can lay low for a little bit. Crikey, some people in self-control, weak as piss. In conclusion, a great opening episode, and even though we've lost some top blokes and Sheilas and the show cut us real deep, there is still gonna be a heap of interesting characters and relationships to follow. If you're in Australia, all the best getting hold of the series, cause Foxtel are greedy cunts.